We have a question from James. What are your thoughts on single leg training for athletes? Well, James, that's going to be one of those things where I really need to be with the sports coach himself, herself, to go over this. Generally, I'm still a believer, and I've always believed this. This comes from Dave Davis's work, 1974, that the best way to train almost every athlete is the Olympic lifts will include the clean and press, the snatch, the clean and jerk, the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. You can pull out any of those you want, or you can certainly add more. But for me, what I'm trying to build with an athlete in the weight room is I'm trying to get that athlete as strong as I possibly can get that athlete. I mean, and it sometimes it's just, it's just, you got to get those numbers up. Of course, once the numbers get to the standard they need to be at, then for the rest of the career, it's much easier to get back to that standard, and you don't have to work nearly as hard. Before I even talk about single leg training, I always talk about loaded carries, hill sprints, stadium runs, and those kinds of things. I'm okay if you disagree with me. I'm okay if you think that lunges are important and single leg movements. The only problem I've always had, and I remember when the original single leg step up became a big deal. This guy from Eastern Europe came over and he said that the Soviets aren't doing any squat anymore. None of it's true. In fact, I've talked to the hammer thrower he referenced in the hammer thrower. I never did one in my life. Once we started doing those high box step ups, nearly within days, we were either had patella tendonitis with the athletes and myself, or my knees are killing me. With lunges, my knees are killing me. Now, Pavel once said, if you can lunge, you don't need to lunge. And if you can't lunge, you should never lunge. I always like that advice. It's interesting because a lot of Pavel's most rabid fans are shocked when I tell them that story. Like, wait. And it's just funny to watch their faces because the lunge is just, it's one of those exercises that it helps some and hurts others. I have a number of textbooks. I got a really good one right back there from the Germans where they're doing a whole bunch of single-legged Olympic lifts with step-ups. Now, I look at that and it's like, whew, that's a combination that could go right or wrong really quickly. So this is a tough one, James. It's one of those things, James, where it has to be done well. Single leg work has to be done well. A good friend of mine who was a big name in the fitness industry a while ago, he's done because he was screwing around showing off a single leg deadlift. One little tweak and that was it for him. It has to be done well. You have to prove to me that it's going to make you better. If you're a 50-foot shot putter and you're calling me up on the phone and saying, Dan, you're wrong. It's all Bulgarian split squats. I'll remind you that you're a mere 25 feet from being a good thrower. In other words, you got a ways to go. I don't like answering this question because no matter what I say, people take it personally. People question me. It's funny because I don't like the exercises, the single leg exercise very much. I see the value. We utilize some of the tools there, but I just don't put it into that top end for athletes. Thank you.